Hey, everyone. Welcome to, again, the Wednesday edition of the Bulk Crew podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron. Look, talking Charger football the best we can during the offseason. Always excited. What I'm getting a lot more, though, now, and I'll remind everyone because I'll forget. Obviously, I just forgot. Do please push the subscribe, like, whatever, the bell, wherever that bell is. Go ahead. We need that one, too. You know what to do. God dang it. Just help us out here. And you're here already. Just do us a favor. I mean, God dang it. If you're here, show up on a regular basis, that means you like the show. It doesn't hurt to subscribe and like the show. If not, I'm going to track every one of you down and beat the hell out of you right in your doorway when I ring the doorbell. So just start doing it, okay? That's all we ask. It's very easy. That's it. I already got a there wrong guy, black eye. Approve it. I'll mess around. You know, here's the deal. What do we say? Play the music and we'll dance. We'll do it. All right. Hate to threaten the audience in the first 5 seconds of the show, but that's where we're at. Sorry, this is what you guys brought me to. All right. So again, Charger football, man, we have a lot of holes. All right. We want to sit there. Not only do you want to fix them, but at the same time, I'm going to ask you guys, because both of you guys aren't as old as me, but you're also past being in third grade of being an NFL fan who buys jerseys and only buys jerseys of star players. Does it matter to you as far as getting a player that's a star player in this league, a name guy, or a guy that you have faith the GM can get the job done?
I want the best player available, and it doesn't matter what their name is, right? Because Deebo Samuel has a big name, but I don't think Deebo Samuel would be the best player available, right? I'm watching the USA documentary Heart of Gold, which I'm sure Mario's probably watched already, and they asked Grant Hill, how do you put a team together? Because he's in charge of putting the team together. He goes, I look at it in 3 levels. You have the older veteran guys that are professionals, can show the younger guys what to do. You got guys in their prime, and then you got young guys that need to prove themselves to who they are in the league. And I think that's a really great way to look at a team. If you can find a young guy who's best in the draft, you go that direction. If you can find a veteran who's good for the locker room, you go that way. Or if you can find somebody in their prime and you can make an argument that DK Metcalf is sitting right in his prime right now, I bring in the best player available that can help the team in that capacity, right? If he's if he's a jerk, I don't want him part of
You're
the
going to
team.
say athlete. I didn't think you were going that way.
Oh, no. Say something else. But if you're a jerk, I don't want you part of the team. I want guys that are good people, that are professionals, that can help the team win now.
You know, I think the best point you made right there was you want the best player available and you want a mix of kind of like the young and the old, right? You kind of look at what the Commanders just did. That team, while yes, they're led by a very young QB and Jaden Daniels, it wasn't like that was a team full of young guys that it's their first time around this league. No, you had Bobby Wagner, who's been, I mean, I think I was born and that guy got drafted. Like he's been in the league, he's been in the NFL forever. You had Austin Eckler, who's kind of been around the block. Scary Terry, I know he's been there, but he's had a long time in the NFL. You had Jonathan Allen on the defensive line. Like you had a lot of veterans in that locker room, and that was a big thing for them with that team and on the run. And Cliff Kingsbury told Peter Schrager this past week, they're like, who's like the unsung hero of that group? And he goes, Marcus Mariota. Because he was a veteran QB in that locker room and really helped out Jaden Daniels. So it was a mix of both, and you got to attack it and find what veterans fit perfectly with your team and what young guys fit perfectly with their team. And right now, we're in desperate need of a receiver, Dave. And it seems like this receiver market and free agency, I mean, I think if you get your third option, the Chargers will still be pretty happy because it's still light years better than what the hell we had last year.
You aren't kidding. I mean, you absolutely aren't kidding. So here's the deal. I'm with what you guys are saying. You know, you get the player that can get the job done, but at the same time, they're locker room guys. And look, to win a Super Bowl, to have a guy that sit there and teach younger guys how it's done, kind of set the tone. I look at Junior Seau's jersey's right behind me. Junior Seau, man, was like the first guy in the weight room every single morning. You couldn't beat Junior to the weight room. And Junior worked hard. Unfortunately, guys could not play up to what Junior standards were. And you see this all the time with great players in other sports, that they're just there first. Michael Jordan was there first. Kobe Bryant was there first. I don't know what the work ethic's like for the Chargers. All I know is in this wide receiver room where Ladd McConkey is a rookie and is your best one there, that I'm all for getting a guy that's been in the league longer than Ladd. You know what I mean? And whether that's DK Metcalf, who you can make an argument that DK wasn't even the best receiver on his team last year, and he wasn't. You know, he had 5 touchdowns. He didn't have 1,000 yards receiving. That being said, he's going to be 28 during this football season. I'd be fine with DK Metcalf. I can also make the argument DK Metcalf has never had a good quarterback, meaning Geno's just Geno, and Russell Wilson wasn't at his best when he had DK. He didn't have a guy like Justin Herbert, and he also didn't have, my opinion, the vision of what the Chargers have right now. I mean, Seattle, everyone thinks that Seattle being successful. If you really think about it, that was more than 10 years ago that Seattle was Seattle. So where DK is right now and where the Chargers are, I don't think it's a bad fit. I don't think Davante Adams is a bad fit. I wouldn't mind veterans that can still get the job done. And to me, these aren't guys that are doing the retirement tour, not the guys where they show up, with a game in whatever in Atlanta and they're giving DK Metcalf but one of those old wooden rocking chairs as a gag gift. It's not that deal. This is a guy that still has something left in the tank, I think. But at the same time, I don't think it's a bad move for guys that, again, already got paid, which means the only thing missing on the resume is the championship.
If you were to bring in DK Metcalf with Ladd McConkey, you already have, and Keenan Allen, I think that's a pretty damn good receiving core. And then you could draft a tight end, right? And then you have a lot of new options on the offense. You already have Justin Herbert. Maybe we bring back, one of our running backs. I think it's a really good offense if you start in that direction. I don't like the thought of saying, hey, we're going to go through the draft with receiver when you have like 7 guys that are out there that can produce. I think this is one of those situations, Mario, where you tap into a receiver that's into the league and not through the draft. I think there's too many holes on this team where you can go through the draft, like tight end, maybe even running back, offensive line, obviously defensive line. I would really like to see the Chargers pick up 2 receivers, either through free agency or through a trade.
I'm with you, and I think the DK move is really interesting because we had reported today that the Chargers were really aggressively pursuing him last offseason. And it's like, all right, let's restart that conversation up right now with this guy wanting out. He's 27 years old. He's got 1 year left on his contract. So you'd get him for a year, going to have to extend him after that. All right, fine, we can do that. His stats this year, he had his lowest receiving yards in the last 3 seasons. Okay, that's also due to Dave, you just said. The quarterback play in Seattle has not been fantastic. Geno Smith is a solid quarterback, but he is not great. Also, look at the OC that they had, not this past year, but the year before that. Brutal. And he went to Chicago and looked dumber. Like, my Lord. The lowest amount of touchdowns he scored was in 2024, but his average depth of target was his biggest in 2024. And that's something that's really big for me because the Chargers really need a deep downfield threat. They do not have that right now at all. And if they can get that in DK, that completely changes this offense, man. Completely changes what they can do. And that can really help out Ladd. I think Ladd can be a receiver 1. I firmly believe that. I think he was this past year. But if you get DK along with him, I think he's really going to excel. I think Herbert's going to excel. And I think also, Dave, we got to do everything we can to help that guy out because he's getting his name dragged through the mud up until week 1.
So, it's funny. Can Ladd be 1? Ladd was 1 last year because he had to be the 1, and at the same time, we say ones, and there's usually a difference in there. It doesn't mean when you have a veteran quarterback like Justin Herbert, dude, he's going to throw to the guy that's open. Yeah, I mean, you don't be surprised you get equal targets if you have guys that are equal players. Kind of the deal. They're both built physically different completely by far. I mean, they look like if those 2 guys lived together, it'd be a hell of a sitcom, right? To see DK and Ladd McConkey living in the same apartment and then going out on the town on the weekends would be crazy.
Be Robin Big.
What? Yeah,
it's
they'd be kind of like Robin Big. Right.
Yeah, it's Robin.
It would be kind of crazy. It would be hilarious, though. But here's the deal. If they both can get the job done, and we know Ladd can, I mean, DK's not old. I don't know anything about injuries or heard about anything with injuries, but again, he's going to be 28 this season. He should be in his athletic prime, not exactly NFL athletic prime, but if he could give us 2 really good years, fantastic. He also might be good for a guy like QJ. Just, QJ, watch this. You don't obviously have the physical frame that he has, but you're kind of built size-wise, height and everything the same. Like, dude, we got to make some major adjustments here. I kind of like what Josh said. Makes the most sense that you have to spend some money in free agency on some of these positions for the fact that the draft is one of those you're going to sit there and rely on yourself and your scouts to do a good enough job picking the right guys. But there are only 7 rounds in this draft, and you got a lot of holes on this team. You got to be very smart where you spend the money and who you chase, and they're going to figure all that out. I mean, this is the thing where you don't know what's going on in the front offices, but these guys are putting in the 12-hour days trying to figure out what they're going to do in the draft.
When you talk about the passing game, you need to have somebody for all 3 levels. Unfortunately for us, we had nobody for the deep passes, right? Mario just brought that up. And then we had the same guy for the 10 yards and in. That would be Ladd McConkey, and then 10 to 20 yards, which was Ladd McConkey also. You need to have somebody be a deep threat. If you played basketball, you need to have a shooter on the floor just because you need to worry about them. I'm not saying DK Metcalf is going to have 10 touchdowns and 1,500 yards, but if he's running down the field deep, you got to have somebody on him, and you got to consider that he's going to make a play. With QJ, if I was a defensive coordinator, there's not one point, Mario, where I'd ever say, wow, we got to worry about that. QJ's fine with the intermediate passes, but he's not DK Metcalf with the deep passes, right? So yeah, I would consider this heavily. DK Metcalf, let's talk about, some downsides of DK Metcalf. He's 28 years old. That's, older for a receiver. He's not super old, but he's older. And then he throws tantrums. I mean, DK Metcalf is known for having a horrible attitude during games. He's hurt his team in a lot of big situations, but he's a physical freak, and he's a guy that wants out. And the Chargers are a team that seems interested.
To kind of summarize what you said too, it's like, as a defensive coordinator, you would say, let's make Quinn Johnston beat us versus DK. We got to limit him this game. Like that's how you'd approach those two players if they're on the Chargers on the same time. You'd be like, yeah, Quinn Johnston's going to have 100 yards receiving on us. That means we won, fellas. That means we did pretty damn well today. DK does that. That means we're probably in trouble. Just the two difference in those guys. The attitude thing, do we give him a little bit of the doubt, though, Dave? Because it's like the situation with Seattle, you're in no man's land. Like, I think Mike McDonald will end up being a pretty good coach in this league, but you give in a Gino who's, he's good, but he's not going to win you. Carroll left. You need to kind of tie a knot on that era, and they really didn't. That's where I kind of give him a little benefit of the doubt. I'm like, you were stuck in a purgatory team where things just were never going to see great, and that division's pretty damn hard.
It is. It's a tough division. Yeah, it's. I always compare it to like the Portland Trailblazers. As Charles Barkley used to say, not bad enough to basically be in a good spot in the lottery, but also not good enough to win a championship. That's kind of like Seattle the last 10 years, right? Not good enough to really make a run at a Super Bowl, but really not bad enough to have the first overall pick and to go about it the right way. That's what makes what Philadelphia did really impressive. What Philadelphia is doing right now is extremely impressive, the way they've run their front office from winning a Super Bowl, what was it, 2016, and then to pull it together. And now they went from being one of the older teams to one of the younger teams, and they're basically playing without a salary cap the way things are going. Barkley signed this massive deal, yet he's the 8th or 9th highest paid player on his own team. Makes crazy financial sense to the way things work out. Seattle didn't go all out and really didn't go about it the right way. It's the power of the organization. We spoke about it a little bit last time, but you look at DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. What do they have in common? They're both two guys that have freakish physiques, right? Yeah, they look like bodybuilders out on a football field. They both went to Ole Miss. They're both headaches to their teams. Yet when it's all said and done, AJ did get that ring. And whereas DK right now, what does he have to show for it? I always say, you want to disappear in sports, go play up in Seattle, whether it's baseball or football. Nobody pays attention. Nobody cares. And so for him to go to the number 2 media market, you might see the best version of him. And especially with Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, you might see the best version of him.
I think it's a great point. I think when guys show up in Los Angeles, the lights are obviously brighter. They want to be on their A game. Jim Harbaugh's not going to let somebody hurt the team like that, right? Joey Bosa threw his helmet at Brandon Staley's feet. You never saw that happen with Jim Harbaugh, and never even close to happening with Jim Harbaugh, right? They know better. You're not going to pull that crap with Jim Harbaugh. I don't think that's going to be so much of an issue if DK was brought to the Chargers. Let me ask you a question, Mario. If you were to take DK or Davante Adams becoming a Charger, or that not happening, which happens? Do you think it's more likely that we get DK or Adams, or it doesn't happen?
I think we get one of the two. From the Chargers being pretty quietly aggressive, which is just such a weird way to put that, by the way, by Jordan Schultz. They were quietly aggressive. What were they in silent library? They're going, hey, we really want him. We want him bad. Give it to me. Like what does that even mean, dude? Like, that's so weird. They only texted. They wouldn't call him because that'd be too aggressive. Like, what's going on?
Writes all in caps. Only text in caps.
Yeah. Do not make me send the 6 texts in a row. All right, I am. With the voice memo, but God forbid they called him. No, I think it's very likely. I really do. I think Adams or Metcalf will be in a Charger uniform come week 1. I think the problem with Adams, I think it's a little less likely. I think Rams is the perfect spot for him. That seems like, Dave, the more perfect angle, because that offense fits better. You have Stafford. It's more passer friendly. You don't have to face the best quarterback in the league twice, and it's an easier route to the Super Bowl. And that's all Davante Adams wants right now. He just wants a ring and then get the hell out. So I think it's the most likely option is DK. What do you think?
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, I know here it is. It's March 5th as we do this show. I mean, I'm to the point where I really want one of them. Like, if they don't get either one, I'm going to be disappointed. That's where I'm at. And again, I have faith in Joe Ortiz, but I don't have faith in QJ. I mean, there's that stat of how many receiving yards do you have? I want to know the opposite. Like, what is the negative on how many yards? You should lose yards every time you drop a ball that was catchable. Let's see what it would have come out to. But because QJ, again, this is the NFL, man. What's the deal with this? 2 years in a row. I mean, he should be a 1 or a 2 at this point. That's why you drafted him so high in the first round. That you're going, this is a guy that's going to be a person that we push our offense around, and they aren't able to do it. They're sitting there trying to fill the patch.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Sanjay Lal, the Chargers receiver coach, it says right under his bio, Seattle Seahawks 2023, he coached wide receiver DK Metcalf to a Pro Bowl selection after a 1,000-yard season and 8 touchdowns in 2023. I think he becomes a Charger. I think they trade for him, Mario. Like you said, they were already aggressive, even though it was quiet. I think it's a reality. I think it happens. Who's the odd man out? Let's say they get DK, they have Ladd, they have QJ, they have Josh Palmer. You're going to assume they bring in somebody else, maybe Keenan Allen. Who's out? Is it Darius Davis? No longer on the team as a receiver. Josh Palmer. I mean, what are you going to have, 6, 7 receivers?
Josh Palmer has to be gone. He's not coming back. I know you directed this at Mario, but right now I'm speechless. Now I guess I'm not. I'm talking.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, I'm out of my mind. Am I
Yeah.
crazy? Who do you want out?
I mean, you're telling me if I have to choose between QJ and Josh Palmer, I'm going to choose QJ. He had a better season, younger.
Yeah, he's younger. When you look back at Josh Palmer's career, what do you think about Mario?
I go to right away that 1 year, I think it was 2 years ago, when every article was saying breakout year, Joshua Palmer. And fast forward 6 months later, nothing happens. It was a big fat 0. Yeah. That's a whole era, man. That's a whole Staley era.
Yeah. Okay. Christian says Palmer's a free agent. I thought he was too, but you just said it's Palmer here. So here's the deal, man, about Josh Palmer. I look back at his career. I look at one game, and Josh Palmer won us one game. That was against Atlanta Falcons on the road a few years ago. I think it was 2022. Josh Palmer's career has been a complete disappointment. It has.
He is a free agent.
Yeah, he is a free agent. Yeah,
no, he is a free agent. I just don't know what's his future. See, this guy's going to stick around the league. Is it I don't know what's going to happen to him.
Dude, his future is on Sundays. It's going to be picking up his Amazon packages that he ordered the night before. That's his freaking future. I don't know anyone to give him a job. I think you're crazy to give Josh Palmer a job. I'm sorry. He's had a disappointing NFL career. I've been watching Josh Palmer since college, and I expected a lot more. Really disappointed in what the Chargers got out of Joshua Palmer.
What about Matt Stafford going back to the Rams? Does that surprise you?
I think it's a good move for the Rams. It's funny, the Rams, we talked about what the Eagles are doing. The Rams right there, front office is good. And I think the Chargers front office is really good too. I don't know if people freak out that I'll compliment the team they share a stadium with, but they got a great coach GM combination. And for the Rams to win the Super Bowl back in 21, and then to contend with the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl this year, who blew out the Chiefs, I think the Rams are in a pretty good situation. They understand that window of opportunity, that going out and having a situation where they can compete right now. Stafford gives them the best opportunity to compete as their quarterback.
Are they the clear third best team in the NFC? Where would you put them?
For me, they're number 2.
Ahead of the Lions?
Right now, I think I put them number 2. I think the Lions are going to take a hit back. They lost both their coordinators.
Yeah, but their team's better, right?
The roster is better. I do agree. I think they're probably
which coach would you take? Which quarterback would you take?
I'm taking Jared Goff over Matt Stafford right now.
You are? Really?
Right now? Yeah.
I'm not.
Do you really think the Lions aren't better as a whole team, though, than what they have right now?
If you switch coaching staffs, I pick the Lions roster right there with the Eagles roster. It's that good.
Do you think the Lions coaches are that bad?
I don't know what they have for their new offense and new defensive coordinator. I know all I know is their head coach is not a guy that was a genius OC or a genius DC. He's not a guy that can sit there and walk into those rooms and fix things. He's not that guy. Sean McVay is a genius offensive coordinator. And I will take Stafford over Goff. There's a reason why they made that trade.
Ben Johnson couldn't say enough nice things about Dan Campbell. He said he taught him a lot.
Course. They gave him an
Great
opportunity.
Coach. I don't know. I think you're undermining him. I think Dan Campbell's not an X's and O's guy, but he's definitely a motivator, like Tony Robbins type, if you will.
Yeah, come on.
I think I'm curious what the Lions are. The Lions and Niners are the two teams I'm really excited to see next year. Because Niners, you lose Debo, and you kind of had a terrible, piss poor year. You're getting older. You got some young talent. I'm excited to see what happens with them. Because they're still pretty live in that division, man. They could take out the Rams still and win that thing. That
division sucks. I think the division sucks. I think the Seahawks are giving up. They're not very good. And the Cardinals are a joke. I think the 49ers are the clear second best team in that division. What do you think, Dave?
I like the Niners roster. I mean, we spoke about it. I'm not a Niners fan or ever root for the Niners, but man, they had a crazy year last year, right? I mean, they had some crazy stuff. I mean, how often do you hear about anybody who loses a kid, let alone two players on the team lost a kid? The first round pick gets shot right before the season starts. You got problems. You got Brandon Ayuk problems. You got problems with Debo. You got problems all over the place. There's so many things that went wrong for the Niners, but talent for talent, the Niners should be in good shape. And I can't imagine the Niners don't fire back this year and be very good.
Yeah. All right. What do we got, Mario? Oh, yeah. Shadur Sanders. I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Do you believe, because it's all rumors and stuff like that from the combine, do you believe he is actually bombing interviews on purpose, or that's just how he is? That he's doing this to become a Raider or end up in New York?
Go ahead, Mario.
So, for people that don't know, Tom McSherry reported that this is what he said. The two people that I spoke to that were in meetings and had individual meetings with Shadur Sanders left the meeting feeling like Sanders was not overly concerned with what they thought of him. They had a 15-minute meeting with him, and when they were done, they said in different ways, different words, that they did not feel like Shadur Sanders cared at all about how much the organization thought of him or cared for him, which is just pretty funny. Just walk in there and do the Step Brothers. I'm interviewing you now. This is a guy that I think has had the spotlight on him since he was 18, whether he liked it or not.
Dude, since he was born. Since he was born. This is they found out Deion's kid.
But I will say this. He's a tough kid. I mean, watch those college football games. He gets lit up like a Christmas tree every game, pops right back up. I think he's a talented QB. He's in a really bad QB class. What this tells me and what it feels like, Dave, is with all the connections that his father has and he has in the NFL, it feels like some team told him, if you get to this, we're going to draft you. And that's the area he wants to be. And every other team can kind of just go, shut the hell up. I don't care. That's what I got out of this, is that some team told him, hey, you're our guy. You're our guy. Don't worry about anything else. And they're taking it and they're running with it. And that's what they feel at home.
Yeah, dude, his dad has this thing all figured out. Look, all these NFL guys, like I would say Archie Manning, he knew what he was doing with Eli. He knew what was going on. Charger fans hate that, but he saw that Charger organization at the time as a different organization than what it is now. He's like, dude, I went through it. I don't want to have my son have a career like that, like I had in New Orleans, where I just got the crap beaten out of me all the time and no chance to win. He wanted his kid to be successful. And guess what? When you come from a family like the Manning family, who at the time when Eli was drafted, I think their family was worth $250 million. And then you have Deion Sanders, who has a ton of money. I mean, no one's starving in that house. We're going to sit there and say, we aren't desperate. It doesn't matter to us exactly if we go number one. We got to be in the right situation. He feels he's going to be in the right situation with the Raiders. You've heard him talk about the Raiders all along, right? Every time the Raiders look like they're set to get the number one pick, the guy always did the picture of the stadium with the praying hands, like things are going his way, that he wants to be a Raider. Yeah, I think right now he's Ben Affleck in the movie when he's filling in for Matt Damon, and the interview is screaming retainer. He just not giving S, man, about the Browns and certain teams he doesn't want to play for. He's being a punk. And that's fine. That's his right. I have no problem with that. Being in the right situation is best. And for the Sanders family, I think he wins if he goes to New York, because number one, Brian Daboll's an offensive guy. Two, it's the number one media market. And if he goes to the Raiders, who they've known Tom Brady for a long time and is a mentor to him, he feels like he's going to be in good shape there. He knows he's going to drown in Cleveland, and Cleveland should stay away from him. So speaking of this, there's talk out here, according to Sports Illustrated. I don't know if you guys saw this today. Sports Illustrated swinging a deal with the Titans is what they predict. Okay, with the Raiders move up to number 1 to get Sanders, more than likely. Also, it could be Cam Ward, but this is Sanders is the guy they've been looking at. Raiders would send the number 6 pick, its second rounder in 2026, a first rounder in 2026, a third rounder in 2027, and a second round selection to the Titans to move up from 6 to 1 this year, which makes me laugh because Josh and I are really good friends with a Raider fan that runs his mouth all the time while watching this show. And as he said, he thought we were crazy for saying the Raiders made a mistake by losing to Jackson or beating Jacksonville and then beating the Saints. But look at all of the things you're going to give up in the draft if you make that trade. Like, you are killing your draft for years. If I was the Titans, I would jump on that deal in a second. But Sanders to the Raiders, if that's the case, that'd be something else.
Why would you do that, though? Giving up that much to move up to the number 1 pick? I don't think the Titans – like, why, though? Because the Titans aren't going to take a quarterback.
No.
Right? Why wouldn't you just trade with somebody else, like the Patriots? Because I don't think anybody above them is going to take
Cleveland's going to take a quarterback.
I think they take Cam Ward. I mean, obviously, nobody knows. I'm just assuming right now. Abdul Carter, number 1. Cam Ward ends up with the Browns. Maybe McMillan to the Patriots or one of these other guys. I just think Shedeur is going to fall right into the Raiders' lap. You don't want to take that chance if you really want him, but to give up all that for Shedeur, would you do that, Mario?
Hell no. Not so. Here's the thing why that doesn't make a lot of sense to me is I haven't seen anyone put Shedeur over Cam yet. I have not seen that at all. I've seen more positive direction of Cam than Sanders. I would expect Sanders, if anything, to drop than to rise. I could see him like dropping pretty damn far down the board. And I think the Titans, if I'm them, I'm staying at 1 and taking Carter.
I'm trading it from the Titans.
Really? I would just take Carter.
They have, dude, the Titans have a 53-man roster and they have 54 holes. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The Titans are a complete disaster. I would get as many draft picks as I possibly could. They aren't winning.
Why not? No,
years.
You're not winning, but why not get the best guy in this draft? And then you get a bridge QB to compete with Levis. You go, 500 maybe in that division? Maybe you could even suck this much again and luck out and be the worst.
And get Arch Manning?
And get Arch? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, dude, they aren't winning anytime soon. I mean, they arguably have the worst quarterback in the league right now. And even if you bring in one, Cam or Sanders or anybody else, they still aren't any good. I mean, it's a really bad team. It's a really bad organization. Josh lives there. He knows. Right?
I'll put this on me.
Terrible. No, I'm just saying, right? No, how many people are walking around talking Titans football in Nashville?
Dude, I went to the liquor store one time because I was going out to a party. I'm not like that. I was going out to a party and this guy was wearing a Titans jersey the day of the game against Malik Willis. And I was like, how you feel about the game? He goes, if we lose to Malik Willis, I'm going to off myself.
Oh my
God. I'm like, wow. Like, okay. And then like I left and they lost. I'm like, I hope that guy's all right, wherever he is. But yeah, I'm like, dude, can you just give me what I asked for? Like, why did you say that? But Titans are a mess. I don't know what we're talking about. Titans are a mess.
Who says that to a stranger? Who says that to a stranger?
Dude, I thought I was wanted a score prediction. Like, not you're like,
dude, just turn to the bottle. What the hell?
God. Yeah, you got it right here. Yeah. Yeah. I love draft talk, man. I think it's really great. I've been watching a lot of stuff like Kenneth Grant, watch one of his interviews, how he is. He seems like a great guy. Like, that's one of those guys you could see being a Charger. He kind of has the personality of a Chargers player. I wouldn't be upset with that at all, Mario. The running back class is looking more appealing to me every day when I look at it. Tight end, running back, offensive line. Those are the 3 positions I think the Chargers absolutely draft. And anything else I'd be happy with, but I need those positions. I need offensive line, running back, and what's the other one I said? Tight end. I need those 3.
I don't think there's any chance, by the way, that the Chargers get Genty anymore. I think Genty's off the table.
No.
Yeah. I think that little – I know there wasn't a lot of hope. That wasn't we didn't have photoshopped images of him popped up everywhere on social media like some people do, but I think he's officially going at 10. Is my way too early? Probably wrong. Laugh later at me. Pick.
See, a lot of people think he fits what the Cowboys do and what they want because Jerry's obviously about that position and names and the biggest star he can get. Do you think the Bears steal him before the Cowboys get him?
I think every move that they made the past 2 days and getting the 2 offensive linemen screams that we're gonna get Genty at that pick. Because I think they're really focused on protecting Caleb. But if you already feel you keeping right really, and then they have Nate on the other side, and then you already filled 2 other spots, you can probably just bring back the center at this point. And be like, all right, let's go get Genty. Let's go get the best running back of a very talented running back class. But at the same time, I think the difference between Genty and like Hampton and Hendrickson of Ohio State, there is, levels to it, but I don't think it's, I don't think the gap's insanely big, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't think it's like a jumping from, Michael Jordan to, Kobe White. Nothing against Kobe White. I like Kobe
Sounds
White.
like it. All right.
What's he guy?
All right. Is there anyone in this draft that you have fallen in love with where you're going, man, when that guy gets taken, it's going to hurt? Like, we all hear about Hampton from North Carolina. We start picturing him in a Charger uniform. If he gets picked, after the Chargers did their pick or before the Chargers did their pick, are you going to go, oh, that kind of hurt? Like, I really was thinking about him in a Charger uniform.
There's not one person in this draft that I feel that way about. Not one. Tyler Booker would be the one if he's available. I'd be like, how do you not go with the top guard by a mile, considering what we have? But Hampton, I don't feel that way about. Do you feel that way about anybody, Mario?
Hampton, I've a bias because he's UNC, so I'll just say that up front. I get probably Kenneth Grant or Tyler Warren would be the 2 guys I'm slowly starting to fall like more and more in love with.
Yeah, dude, Tyler Warren. Hold on, let's stay there for a second.
Yeah,
you got to get him. You got to take him. Like he has.
He's not going to be there.
I'm saying like, and we're saying if he's there. That was your question.
If he's there,
okay.
Yes.
So when he goes, is it going to hurt? As soon as someone takes him, he's just going to go.
Dude, the Chargers had a long history of kicking me in the nuts on these situations. The Chargers have a master's degree in kicking me in the nuts in these situations. It has happened so many times. Like the QJ situation, right? You're like, oh my God, we're gonna end up with one of these like Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston. I'm like, what? But that's happened a million times, right? Larry English. Oh my God. You got to take him. You got to take Tyler Warren if he's there. Who's your guy, Dave?
It's Tyler Warren to be my dream player, but I just don't think they have any chance of getting him. I don't think it's in the Chargers' nature to trade up. I know it's a new GM and trying to figure out what they're going to do. I just don't think they're able to get him.
He plays quarterback.
By the way, say that again.
The guy plays quarterback for Penn State. He's like, you guys need a first down. He's like, I'm gonna get in here. I'm like, we need that. Yeah, and he gets it every time. Like, my God.
Yeah,
it's so funny with that too. It's like, how did no one think of that? I know we talked about. I was like, how did no one? Why did we miss the mark on that?
With which one? With him playing quarterback?
Yeah, just doing like, hey, we're gonna QB sneak it, but instead of using our like QB that can barely, that's not that strong, or it's not Jalen Hurts, let's just put our all conference tight end that probably can squat the planet.
I think the only teams I've seen is the Ravens with Mark Andrews and then Blake Bell. Remember, Blake Bell would do it all the time, but he used to be a quarterback. I don't know why more teams don't do it. Like Jalen Hurts is as strong as a tight end and works every time. So I don't know why teams wouldn't do that.
Colts used to do it. They called it third and Jacoby. And then Jacoby Brissett would just come in with Phillip Rivers. And Phillip Rivers would go to the sideline like chirping everyone or just like screaming out the play. And it was the funniest thing to watch. You're like walking off. Hey, just Joey, get in there. Get the first. It's just like, dude, calm down. You're yelling at your kids for.
All right. I don't know how you would do this on the roster, but I was thinking about this yesterday because I was driving for a long time and, you're sitting and dumb thoughts go through your head. But you guys all saw the clip last week where Myles Garrett was trying to get past that sumo wrestler. You know what I'm talking about? You see it, Mario? I know Josh saw it.
Wait,
you see it?
I saw the part. I've seen Parsons.
Not Myles Garrett. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Micah Parsons, who's obviously one of the best, edge rushers in the NFL, strong as hell. And, man, he's given everything he has. This guy, like, is one arm and laughing, not even moving, dude. I mean, not even moving. And he's given everything he has. Dude, I signed 3 of those sumo guys, and I stick them as my center, my 2 guards on anything 4th and 3 or shorter. And I take my guards and I now put them in the tackle position. And I'm like, we're going for it, man. On all 4th and 3s or better, we're bringing the big guys in. Who's stopping that? Nobody's stopping that. Now they can't play every down because obviously they're not going to move fast enough for pass coverage. But dude, if 4th and 3, that's a lot. If you hardly ever have to punt, if you make every goddamn series, basically 1st and 7, we're in. Let's go. Let's change the game. Let's be a visionary.
I love that idea. Bring in some sumo guys for run plays.
And
Great
cut their
idea.
football pants like the sumo pants. They're like, what the hell's the deal with these Charger football pants? How come these
Play
guys'
the
pants are
Undertaker
cut
song
Genius
so
when
late?
they go in.
Genius idea.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like I don't get why you just don't find one of those people for my 600-pound life and stick them right in goal, like in a
Mhm.
hockey game. Just
Well,
fill
I
up the whole
think they-
goddamn net.
Yeah, they can't get out of bed, but they can sit in a cage.
Yeah, just lay them down. They don't need to clear the puck. Just stick them right there and fill up the whole net.
It's a
What do you got
genius
to lose?
idea. Yeah, I mean, the sumo guys makes a lot of sense to me because they're going to speak Japanese to each other. You have no idea what they're saying. They could go,
That's
we're going to block
true.
right. And you don't know what they just said. Let's get
That's
that emotion. Let's clip this, Mario. Let's get
I
some
always-
momentum.
I always wondered too. So this brings up a question I always have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out if you guys ever thought about this. I'm not a big soccer guy. I kind of hate soccer. I don't think it's fun to watch or anything like that. I think it's kind of stupid. So sorry for all the soccer fans. But I always wonder, like in those international games, I'm like, what language do the refs speak? See? You know? Because it's like not everyone
You
speaks
just
the
put
same
your arm up
language.
with a yellow flag. Like, what are you doing? A yellow card.
But then when they yell at you, like that's why I couldn't be ref there because they'd be yelling at me in probably like French or Italian, and I like wouldn't know what they're saying, and then I would just my first reaction would be like go over the line, and just give probably a really bad chirp back, but like oh they probably don't know English, and then they like go oh what'd you say pal? I'm like oh well I just called. You're yeah I'm not gonna say what I would say, but you catch my drift.
I don't know. I never thought about what the hell the language.
Well, baseball has the same issue, right? Like you got guys from like Korea and Japan. Like how do they communicate
True.
with each other? But they figure it out. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
True.
know what to tell you. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
You want to read
We have
some of these
a-
comments in here?
They didn't mean
Yeah,
to
we
stump
got-
you guys on that one.
Nah, I wasn't
I
prepared
never
for
thought
that.
about it.
Dude, you're welcome. Now you will.
All
I
right,
don't think I will.
$4.99.
I got to watch
Yeah.
a game first to think about it. A match. Sorry, called it a game.
All right, $4.99 from AK. He says, Mario, what happened, my bro? Last show you said, AK, I'm not sure about DK Metcalf. Will explain yourself, brother, because I told you DK to the Bolts. Let's go.
Well, one, it hasn't happened. And two, Jordan Schultz reported something. So that's what happened, AK. So usually when someone reports something, that's when you react to it. But congrats
Thanks for
to
the
you.
$4.99.
You are the Seattle insider. Why did the Supersonics leave? That's my next question for you.
That's a great question.
That's a great
All right.
question.
Okay, for the person that keeps asking for Tony Robbins to come in for QJ to help him out, stop. That's definitely not going to happen. Nobody's bringing in Tony Robbins.
Dude, he
That's
is
not going to turn around his career.
Take it
He
easy,
is-
banana head.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, you need to get a job working for his PR team. I mean, this
This guy
guy
loves Tony Robbins.
loves Tony Robbins.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have a Dave rant?
Yeah, dude, it happened during the goddamn show. Keep muting my mic. Do you guys hear that, Gardner? I hear Mario's rain like crazy in his microphone, but you guys hear?
I
didn't hear
asked
the
you
rain.
if you did.
I didn't hear it at all. I just said that because I saw you write it privately to us. Do you guys hear that rain? It's going to my mind. I didn't hear anything. Josh didn't hear it either. I was just teasing. Could you guys hear the gardener outside?
No.
No.
All right, so it's not my gardener. I live in an association where the guy cuts the grass between the grass, the sidewalk, and the street, and so they come by like once every 2 weeks. I don't know why they always come by during this show. They're supposed to be like literally that fast. They just drive by on these lawnmowers are like go-karts that go so goddamn fast. But for some reason, the first guy goes through and he stops his lawnmower right in front of the house. And he leaves it on while he's putting gas in it. And it's just going. I'm like, dude, let's keep it moving. Let's go. No one else has a microphone on, I guarantee, on my block, except me. And that guy's right outside the window running that lawnmower. And then the next guy comes through with the edger. And his thing runs out and he decides to fill it up with gas and keep it running at the same time too. I'm like, God dang it, dude! I'm about to go outside and rip it right out of his hands. You know, the one at that stick that goes around edging, and just sitting there, just run it right across his shin a couple times, and then come back in the house, just drop it.
You like to edge?
Yeah. Do I
Yeah.
edge? I don't edge, dude. No, it's funny. I take care of a baseball field all the time, but I won't take care of my house at all. I mean, you've been in my house, Mario. The yard's not that big, dude. It'd be like vacuuming your living room. And then I can't cut my own grass, but I'll pay someone to cut it. But yet I'll cut an entire baseball field 4 times a week. It takes me 4 hours to do, but I won't do my own house. But yeah, that pissed me off. That guy's sitting there in the way. I had a whole nother rant. Can't remember what I was upset about before the show started. But this guy right here made me mute the mic the entire time. Damn it.
All right. $5 from Alana. She says, this is
Alana, you were late today. Don't think we didn't see that.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
God dang it! I just threatened to beat up the entire audience before you joined, and then you could jump in. Come on, let's go. Let's
She
be on time.
says,
if I knew you were going to be late, we would have started the show 6 minutes late.
Yeah, let us know next time, Alana. She says, this is just a gift of support and a little guilt for missing some live shows. Laugh out loud. Do you feel like a jerk now?
No,
Yeah,
I
do you feel
don't.
bad?
I mean, I did those shows thinking Alana was going to be here. She wasn't. So, I mean, I want my time back too, Alana. But thanks for the $5. It's very nice.
Let's
Very
jump
nice.
through some comments. We have no start comments, but we want to just hit some of these if we can. Put up the one by Diego Reds right there. I can answer this one pretty easy. The one with Zion. With Zion moving to center, where will Pipkins go? The bench. What's our next question?
There you go.
All right. Anybody have anything good?
That's funny.
Okay. No more Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. But yeah, I think that's.
Do you have a bunch of Tony Robbins comments in there, really?
The same
Got, like,
person wants Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't let it go.
Did you guys ever
What-
hear
what-
about how Dave's not an
what-
athlete? Just make sure. everyone
Yeah,
knows.
dude, I'm getting killed on that. That really, really irritates me. Is that Shirley said the replacements did that? I don't know what she's talking about. Is she talking about the sumo thing? Is that what she's talking about? I never saw the replacements.
I never saw it either.
Oh, God, we're over 3. God, that's
Damn,
tough.
that's not good.
Damn, that's not good.
It's Keanu Reeves is in the replacements, right? Didn't they say that he got a real tryout with an NFL team because he was so good? No joke. There's a story about Keanu Reeves being so good as far as being able to throw that they asked him to do a real tryout. And by the way, man, I'm not a John Wick fan. This is probably another rant in a second about to happen here. These John Wick
sucks.
movies are ridiculous. I'm
They
sorry. If
suck so
anyone's into
bad.
these John Wick movies, all I know is it keeps showing John Wick 4 on TV. Dude, they got like 80 people trying to kill him in every scene, and he never even gets a scab. I mean, it's insane. He's able to kill in a car driving backwards in a roundabout, just shooting right out the window, just blowing everybody away. What the hell are we watching? You guys can't be falling for this crap. That's ridiculous.
Horrible.
The fact there's 4 of them. And what's he so pissed off about? Somebody killed his dog? Look, I
Yeah.
love dogs more than anybody. But holy cow, to get 4 of them out of there, that's amazing.
Yeah,
There's
It's
it's
have you guys
insane.
seen this? Have you seen the
Peter's
second
hero.
one?
What?
You guys ever seen the second one?
No, I never saw the
Never
4th
saw
one.
any?
But I
So
imagine they're all the same.
There's a scene in it that I don't know why it stuck with me because I was like, it's when I got out of it. Where I was like, I think I'm done with these. They're like walking and he's down and Common, the actor, is up and they're both shooting at each other and they have silencers, but they're both missing. And there's like, no kidding, 100 people on like downstairs and upstairs, but no one's getting shot. Like they're just missing. I remember watching it, you know, in college on a Sunday, feeling some type of way and going, why isn't no one dying? Like why are you wasting the bullet? Like I was thinking too deep into the movie. I was like, but you would be wasting bullets and then you just see them later. And then why is it what? Like I was just rattled by it. But it was like it was supposed to be a cool scene and it just ended up being stupid.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the one? It's John Wick is 4. Or John Wick 4 is 3 hours long. Dude, it is long. It's not the goddamn Godfather.
Why are you
I mean, dude, if
watching
there's a
John
movie
Wick in
that
your
should
free
be-
time?
Say that again.
Why are you watching that in your free time?
Me?
You have nothing
Or are
better
you
to do than
asking
watch
him?
John Wick 4?
That's insane. It's on TV all the time. I'm like, hey, everybody must love
It
these
is
movies.
on a
I'm
lot.
sitting there and watch a little bit. It's on every time.
That's a good
That and
question. What
Wolf
movie's
of
on
Wall
the
Street,
TV too
which
much?
I do watch all the time.
That's a great
I
movie,
watch
though.
Wolf of Wall Street all the
What's
time.
like an average to below average movie that's on TV way too much?
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't watch that TV that much, but the other guys used to be on all the time. That's a great
Dude,
movie.
I love the other guys.
It's a great movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that.
What about what's that movie? What's it called? Roundhouse? Roadhouse?
Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
Yeah. That movie's not very good. It's on TV all
never
the
seen
time.
it.
You never saw Roadhouse?
I never saw
Patrick
Roadhouse.
Swayze. It's the corniest movie of all time.
Oh,
It's the corniest.
okay. Now that we're on that, Top Gun sucks.
Dude,
All
couldn't
of
agree more.
Yeah,
I'm in
they're
Mario's
so
camp.
bad. Yeah.
People in San Diego are going to hate that you just said that, but I'm with Mario. I'm not a Top Gun fan. I think it's ridiculous.
So the second one, they never say who the enemy is. They're like, we're gonna go to the base. It's like, okay,
I didn't even know.
It's just
It's funny.
it's just all guys decked out in black clothes. Like, that's the enemy. It's impossible to do. Well, guess what? They do it.
Dude. All right, wait. Two things you just threw me off on. I'm watching. I love Family Guy. I'm watching Family Guy. 2 weeks ago, they did a whole thing on Top Gun and Maverick, and they pointed out that in the Maverick movie, Tom Cruise is supposed to be taking care of Goose's son. Like training him, and then they do the math. They go, wait a second. Goose's kid was born in 1986. Like, the dude's in his 40s. Like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on here? Like, we're just gonna act like that didn't happen. That he wasn't born in 1986. What the hell's happening here? That, and dude, I'm watching Roadhouse. All right, it's corny as hell. Mario, you like it, dude. It's not a bad movie. Have a couple drinks, watch a movie, you'll like it. But it's corny as hell with Patrick Swayze, and I'm watching it with Josh's younger brother. He's like 18 years old, and we're watching this thing. He's never seen it. He's not saying it sucks, but at the same time, he's just sitting there. And then it comes down to the big scene in the movie. Everyone, there's no spoiler alert, trust me, in Roadhouse, but everyone, I guarantee, has seen this thing. And the two guys are going. It's Patrick Swayze, supposed to be the best fighter for the good guys, and then it's the hired, fighter guy for the bad guys. And they're like fighting to death. All right. And they're down by the river and they're beating the hell out of each other. And the bad guy gets Patrick Swayze and what looked like was, his last moment. And he drops in his ear, I used to F guys like you in prison. And then my kid pauses.
Wait, what?
Whoa, what kind of movie are we watching here? Like, what? I thought we were just fighting to the death. What's about to happen? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just keep push play. He's like, that is the weirdest line to stick in this movie, in this fight. Like, now it's a whole nother thing here. Are we fighting for death or are we fighting for rape? What else happened here? It was crazy. My 18-year-old just walked out of the room because I'm done. I'm out. How did this movie survive? Ridiculous.
Have you guys seen the new show? It got really popular, but it's called Landman.
No.
Who's seen it?
I know that everyone says watch it. I haven't seen it. Everyone says to watch it.
Okay, so it's really good, but you're gonna feel really uncomfortable about like 8 times in the show because he has a Bobby Thornton. Is that his name? Bob Thornton? Bobby? I don't know.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Thank you. He has a daughter in the show who's supposed to be like 17. She's like, I think she's literally older than me in real life. She's like, or like,
you aren't going to
20.
say the line in the movie, are you? I mean, the line in the show that she says about the boyfriend.
No, but that's
God.
one of the crazy moments they have.
It is a crazy moment. Just don't say it on the show.
There's constant just moments of her just being like, telling her dad how she wants to sleep with her boyfriend. And again, they're supposed to be in high school, so like, this is weird. But then they have scenes when like she's getting milk in the kitchen, and the shot is just like of her butt. It's like, dude, she's supposed to be 17 in the show.
Good Lord.
Like, I know she's not really, but like this is it's like the guy working and he's like looking up, he's just seeing a butt.
Good God.
It's it's really uncomfortable. And then they bring like a retirement home to a strip club.
What?
I know.
I'm watching.
It's a good. Besides the that storyline, it's a very good show. Stuff. But yeah, I skip it. Like every time it came on through, I was like, I have to skip this. This is not. I just don't get it. It's so odd. Every boyfriend has to be like the next like Peyton Manning, and they're like, what do you want to do on grow up? He goes, I'm gonna play for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's like, all right.
All right, there's a question that just went by. Asked if I was a fan of the movie Cobra. No, the only scene I remember from that movie Cobra, because I was kind of disappointed in it. There's a cool driving scene in that movie. That's all I remember. But I'm not a fan of the movie Cobra. I did see it, believe it or not.
New mob movie, new mob TV show coming out though, fellas, with Tom Hardy.
All right, I'm probably in.
I'm in.
Probably in. Okay.
See you there.
Love the mafia movies. All right, got anything else in there? Everyone's talking about Max Crosby's new contract.
Got
The
an
Raiders went
EK's
all out.
comment here that I can't put on the screen, but it's something. Directed at Tom.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ooh, rivalry. All right. Well,
All right. Yeah.
good job.
You know,
read
makes
it?
me laugh. It's
I
the only
did.
one he didn't write in caps. That's what's funny.
Yeah. It was like perfect, no typos.
Yeah,
All right, this is a good question.
Hey, AK, if it works, if you guilted him into it, go ahead and send that to every single person. That's crazy, dude.
So this last one, since we're on it, Fast
Yeah.
and Furious sucks.
Here's a funny thing about Fast and the Furious. My wife, who's not into cars, like she couldn't recognize a car on the street. Neither can Josh. Josh can't recognize cars for anything. Like he'd be the worst witness if you saw a hit and run. What kind of car was it? Don't know.
4 wheels.
Don't know. Yeah, it had 4 wheels on it. Like Josh doesn't. Right. My wife's the same way. For some reason, my wife loves the Fast and the Furious movies. You'd think she'd be the last person on the planet that loves the Fast and the Furious movies. And I don't know
Those
why they
movies
mixed in like Tokyo Drift all of a sudden. Like it completely didn't make sense in the whole genre of all the movies. I think I've seen them all though. I hate to say it, I've seen them all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't hate the movies. I don't hate them.
That.
Yeah.
It's family. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
All right. Yep.
All right. Again, I don't know if this show's good enough to say subscribe and like, but we did the best we could. All right. We gave you what you want. Andrew kind of bummed me out that you joined the show late, so I kind of couldn't give 100%. But anyway, we did the best we could. Please push subscribe and like. There's that. Isn't there a bell button they always say to knock that one out too? I don't even know where that is. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how you guys figure out the super chats. I don't even know where that is either. But hell, the ones who figured out, we're grateful for it, and thank everyone that does join us. All seriousness, thank you so much for spending time with us and following this show. We want to see it continue to grow. We're having a great time talking Charger football with you, and it kind of feels like when we see the same names that obviously a little bit of a family atmosphere in it. That hey, these are people we know. Again, for Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We will be back. Where are we going next week? Are we going Tuesdays or are we going Monday? I'll tell you right now. I'm the guy running the goddamn schedule. I'm really glad, by the way, we took yesterday off because we lost in the last inning on a goddamn squeeze bunt. So
we're going Monday and Wednesday next week.
How do you know my schedule?
Okay. I put it in
right.
3 months worth because I know you'd screw this up. I swear to God, I did it already.
You were right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. All right, we'll be back next Monday at 1:00. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks, guys.